Once a year, people come from all over the Midwest to Britt, Iowa to attend a carnival with its rides, games, a swap meet, and a sideshow. The reason for the carnival and the reason they come here is to vote in the annual election of the King of the Hobos. Like any other election, at the end of the campaign trail, candidates' tempers can run a little high.
I just want to whack him one time. Just let me alone. You think I need that club? I don't need that club.
Yeah, you need your club.
I don't need that club.
While the Hobos Rules Committee works out the details of the voting procedures, the rest of their electoral college sit around and define the subtle differences between political hobos and political bums.
Hobo, he rides a rail, and he'll get out and he'll work a little bit to get an extra buck in his pocket, and then he moves on.
A hobo is simply an itinerant worker, as a man who's chosen to, his mode of travel was by freight train.
I like the title hobo, a walking tourist, a nomadic wanderer.
Tramp, he's just a tramp. He just keeps going down the road.
I was a hobo when I was a teenager, back in the late 20s and early 30s. And then I married and settled down and lived life. And then 10 years ago, I started hoboing again as an old dude.
And the bum, why, he won't work. And he's usually more or less a local fella, and he just bums everybody.
The newcomers to the road, I can't really advise them. I would say they'll have to pick it up as they go, you know, as far as experience and brutality and inefficiency and stupidity of a vindictive society is concerned. Now, I'll roughly sketch for you. I won't go into detail.
Well, too many people are striving for the unnecessary. You see, the hobo's creed is, I believe most of them, I know mine is anyway, being is important. But being important is unimportant.
Like all politicians, hobos tell stories that can't be too closely examined.
And one of the things you never ever do is attempt to question the veracity of the storyteller.
I told you this. And a dancing dog with sunglasses on. Can you imagine that? And here comes a bull out of nowhere. Listen, I've seen everything. Man, you got 2 minutes to get off this property. I said, what's this? Property. I'm a stockholder. You understand? Uh-oh. Man, that went over great. He said, I'm calling for reinforcements. Hit the wall.
I smoke old stogies I have found. Short, but not too big around.
After the final caucuses, the nominees get into their limousines and are chauffeured to the convention site.
I think it's wonderful that the town of Britt continues to sponsor the Hobo Convention for the good of these gentlemen of the road. They're good people, really.
Meanwhile, the Rules Committee has finally reached a solution for the voting.
I just want to whack him one time. That's all. I want to whack him one time. Sit down and that's all.
The nominees are then introduced to the voters to give their final campaign speeches.
Candidate Sparky Smith. Sparky Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here again this year to run with the king.
Portland Gray.
Thank you for being here. I've had a good year. I left here last summer, went up to Duluth and went broke.
Iowa Blackie.
It doesn't really matter whether or not I ever get the crown. I really have a good time here.
Mr. Nobody.
May the 3rd, I celebrated my 80th birthday. I know you're going to say, go on, what are you talking about? But it's true, I have it in my pocket.
The Pennsylvania Kid.
That's very true. He's been after me for the last 5 years, ever since he come from the Buckeye. And if you want that dirty old Buckeye like to beat the Hawkeye, you just go ahead and vote for it.
Frying Pan Jack.
So, you know yourself, there's only way that you can pick a king of the hobos if you loosen your arm up and clap. That is what lets the king of the hobos today.
And now we introduce, for your applause, Mountain Dew. Steam Train Maury. Open Road. The Cheyenne Kid. And the final candidate, Iron Worker Willie. Re-elected King of the Hobos, Steam Train Maury.
After the election, the townspeople hold one last parade. They put the king and the other candidates on a float and happily usher them out of town till next year's election.